Do you have a huge desire to become a homeowner but maybe lack the deposit? On this video, I'm going to share a technique that my clients are using right now to become homeowners. That technique is called a vendor gifted deposit. Coming up. Hey, how's it going? My name is Alex Kerr. I'm a qualified mortgage broker, and on this channel we provide mortgage tips to first-time buyers and business owners, as well as tips and strategies like today's video. And today we're talking about vendor gifted deposits, which allow you to become a homeowner with no deposit. But how does it work? Let's jump into the video. So in 2005, I bought my first home using a vendor gifted deposit. Halifax was the mortgage lender. Unfortunately, they no longer provide vendor gifted deposits. However, there are other lenders which do. So how does it work? How does a vendor gifted deposit work? Let's take a property price of £100,000, okay? Let's imagine there's a property, it's been on the market maybe for a little while, and the vendor is the seller. Okay, so a person selling their house is known as a vendor. They are happy to accept £90,000 for the property. You know it's worth £100,000. So as long as the property values at £100,000 when the mortgage lender conducts their survey, a vendor gifted deposit will work. Because the vendor or the seller is happy to take £90,000, they would therefore provide you with 10% deposit in the equity of the property already. If it's £100,000, you're buying it for £90,000, there's £10,000 worth of equity there. And that is the vendor gifted deposit. Okay? The vendor, the seller, is gifting the £10,000 worth of equity, and you can call it your deposit. That is how the lender will be happy to proceed. So as long as in their eyes they go to value the property, it values at £100,000, they will happily accept the vendor gifted deposit of 10%. Okay? It must be a minimum and maximum of 10%. Okay, that's the only figure that this lender in mind is working with at the moment. It is a high street lender, but it does have complications. So I wouldn't advise trying to go down this route on your own. It has a specific term. A solicitor will need to be experienced in doing vendor gifted deposits, otherwise they may make a mistake. We do have solicitors we work alongside who are very experienced in vendor gifted deposits. I have clients at the moment who have completed and been handed their keys to their first property without a deposit. Okay, so we've established that you can perhaps proceed with a vendor gifted deposit. I say perhaps because it is a high street lender at the moment. You need to be squeaky clean. What do I mean by that? You need to have clean credit. Alright? You need to have clean credit. As long as we've got clean credit, we're going to be okay. No lenders at the moment are accepting vendor gifted deposits if you have adverse credit. But that can change. You know, lenders do change their criteria all the time. So please, you know, if this is the first time we're meeting, you know, please subscribe to the channel, because I will be providing ongoing updates in relation to gifted deposits. It can be applied to other scenarios such as buy-to-let properties and things like that. If you're looking at a gifted deposit in any sort, whether it's from your family, whether you're buying the property you're renting at the moment, whether you've been gifted a property or money, you know, it all falls under the same roof. Of gifted deposits, and lenders can work with them. Specifically, we're looking at the vendor gifted deposit today, where the vendor, the seller, is gifting the equity in the value of the property. So, assuming everything's okay, we can move forwards, look for some properties. What are the next steps? You can't just assume every property you see is going to value up 10% higher than the purchase price. We can't just assume that everyone is going to be happy with this process, that every vendor is going to be happy and comfortable with the situation. It does need to be explained. Please do check out the show notes at any point. I do hook up a Microsoft Word document which explains what a vendor gifted deposit is. You can provide it to the estate agent or the seller for clarity. You know, they can ask me any questions at any point if you wanted to provide that as well. So assuming you've looked at some properties, what I would do and what I did when I bought my first property back in 2005 was I was looking for properties which had been on the market for a little while. Now that's the complete opposite to the advice I'd give if you were buying your first home, because you may have a problem with a property that's been on the market for a little while. In my instance, it was a pebble dash property. So on the outside of the property, it wasn't the most attractive. And it had been on the market for a little while. When you went inside the property, really it was nice, and we decided to buy that property, myself and my partner, and make it look nicer. We had cladding on the front, we had it painted cream. It went from looking like a house which had been rolled down Clacton Beach to something nice and presentable. So that would be my advice to yourselves. Look for properties which are perhaps not taking everyone's fancy, because the first step onto the property ladder is always the hardest. This is a perfect opportunity for you to step onto the housing ladder, maybe not buy the perfect house to start with or property, but it's the stepping stone to the next one. Once you live in the property for a little while, you've paid some of your mortgage off, it might go up in value. The next step onto the next property is going to be much easier and wouldn't have been possible without this process. So speak to estate agents, let them know you're looking to proceed with a vendor gifted deposit. Get your agreement in principle done first with the lender, all right? To ask me some questions in the comments. I will happily help you with your agreement in principle and getting this prepared for you. As long as the lender is happy that there's that 10% equity, that's their security. It's exactly the same as buying a property for 100,000 and putting 10% down. There's no different. If you're buying it at 90 but it's worth 100,000, that is your 10% deposit. It's no different to the lender. Okay, so if you speak to some estate agents, they've never heard of a vendor gifted deposit, they're not very welcoming to the idea, just move on to the next ones, okay? You will find that in every town there is estate agents that understand this process, okay? And they will be willing to work with you, all right? Just explain your situation, explain the vendor gifted deposit. It's a high street lender that works alongside this, and they will be fine. As a professional mortgage broker, we are obliged to provide the following mortgage warning: that your home may be repossessed if you do not keep up repayments on your mortgage. So I hope you found some value in today's video. Please, like and share and comment and, help any of your colleagues, family or friends that may really want to become a homeowner, but they're lacking deposit. This could be the way forward. So thanks very much for checking out today's video. If you want some first-time buyer tips, please click the video there. And if you're looking for some business owner tips, please click the video there. I've been Alex Kerr from Mortgage Chain, providing mortgage tips to first-time buyers and business owners. Until next time, have a fantastic day, keep smashing it, and we will talk soon.